Hello, welcome to this week's paint along. We are gonna do a little mixture of some smaller things. Oops. We'll touch up the face as well as kind of paint the lips and get base coat on the teeth. Maybe be able to paint the eyes. Think about that. I'll be doing these parts probably in a like a off-white, almost ivory. So if I don't do the eyes now, it'll be done because that'll be a good color to use on eyes. But then I will get started at least on the flowers. So let's go ahead and get the face kind of touched up. Not normally something I do midway, but this time it was kind of bothering me quite a bit. Oops. And this is getting just in basically a base coat or a shadow color to paint the teeth. Since I noticed after painting all the skin and looking closely, like we got the upper lip and the lower lip. So this is definitely some teeth showing. Okay. So using blue liner, since we've used that in various other places on the mini, we'll use that as our really dark color. And that'll really contrast with the, because I'm going to bring in more of the yellow orange that is part of the triad triad we are using. And we'll also be using the blue liner to make a green, actually, because there are leaves definitely up here. Use that with the yellow orange to mix up a green. And so that way, even though green is not in the triad, it will still, in theory, work just fine with the rest of the colors. Alright, for the flower petals itself, I'm going to do a little bit of wet blending using these two colors, the lava orange and lantern yellow. And with the lava orange, I have a drop of lantern yellow mixed in. Probably take it in sections. Take it in sections here. It is kind of small for this, but then we can always, yellow's more transparent typically than orange, so we can always come back with that yellow and glaze over the orange if we're seeing too much orange. Just kind of play around with it. As long as it's still clearly wet, you can kind of keep playing with blending. Once you notice it starting to dry at all, though, you need to just let it fully dry and come back to it. That's kind of how that's looking. Now I will go back with the yellow for sure, just to kind of really brighten that up, since it is a little more transparent, especially on this part right here that I had gotten some other paint on. Okay, now I'll quick do the leaves here. I got two mixes. This is like 1 drop of blue liner with 3 drops, about 3 or 4 drops of lantern yellow, and then I just took a few brush rolls of this, put it in here, and then took a brush roll of the lantern yellow, mixed it for kind of a highlight. So that should hopefully help us give us a green that is not going to work against our color scheme. And if you want the leaves to be darker, you could actually base coat these with the blue liner, and then you'd start off with a darker tint basically by doing that. And I'm just going to quick wet blend towards the outside with that lighter green. Wet blend just means that you are doing wet on wet paint. So instead of letting the first paint layer to dry, you're coming right away with another paint while it's still wet. So that is the simplest explanation of what wet blending is. If you're someone saying that term, that's what they're talking about. And I just noticed we can kind of see like the other underside of part of this flower down here. It's gonna be in shadow, but still. Since I know about it, at least, that will bother me if I don't fix it. There we go. Kind of poppy-like flowers almost, or sunflowers. But yeah, I think the green definitely works out well. Probably really not anywhere else that I could use it. You kind of want to try and make it so that a color is repeated. In a way it is, because it is down here and up here. Although I'm guessing the green is not in both spots. Though I could cheat here and actually just a little bit of green there, as if to say that there is part of the leaf down here as well. Alright, well, that'll be it for tonight. Leave it on the side that we just did, the flowers. And that will be it for this week. Come back next week as we work on finishing up the main part of the mini. And then we'll move on to getting this sword painted up. Alrighty. Have a good week, y'all. Bye.